All right, let's talk about calcium. When I say that word, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Strong bones, right? Maybe healthy teeth? Yeah, we all learn that. But what if I told you well, it's just the tip of the iceberg. And the stuff under the water? That's the part that's keeping you alive, like right now.
And look, you're not wrong. It's absolutely true. A whopping 99% of all the calcium in your body is stored exactly where you think it is. It's packed into your bones and teeth. You can think of it as this giant mineral warehouse, giving you structure and making you strong.
But what about that other 1%? I mean, it sounds like nothing, right? Just a tiny little fraction. But here's the crazy part. That minuscule amount, the stuff floating around in your blood and your tissues, that is the stuff that is responsible for keeping you alive, second by second.
So yeah, before we get into the really wild secrets of that 1%, let's just quickly touch on the foundation. The part we all think we know.
So this 99%, it's not just sitting there like bricks in a wall. Your bones are alive. They're in this constant state of, it's called remodeling. Think of it like a never-ending construction project where old bone gets torn down and new bone gets built up. And what's the #1 building material for that whole process? You guessed it, calcium. It's what keeps your skeleton strong and your tooth enamel hard.
Okay, now for the really cool stuff. Let's get into that other 1%. This is the active, dynamic calcium that's basically your body's go button.
Seriously, you can think of it just like an electrical switch. For your body to do, almost anything, from thinking a thought to flexing a muscle, it needs a trigger. And that trigger, that little spark that makes it all happen, that is calcium.
So how does that even work? Well, take moving a muscle, for instance. It's actually pretty simple, but so critical. Every single time you move, blinking your eyes, walking across the room, even your heart beating, it all starts with a nerve signal that tells your muscle cells, okay, release the calcium. That flood of calcium ions is what makes the muscle contract. Without it, nothing. The muscle just sits there. No calcium, no movement. It is literally that direct.
And it's not just for your muscles. This is huge for your entire nervous system. But to really get it, we need to quickly talk about something called neurotransmitters. All they are, really, are chemical messengers. They're what your brain and nerves use to talk to each other.
Okay, so here's where it all connects. For one of your nerve cells to actually release those messengers, to pass a signal along the chain, it needs a green light. And guess what that green light is? Yep, a rush of calcium. Calcium is literally the key that unlocks communication all across your nervous system. Without it, the messages just don't get sent.
But calcium's job as the go signal goes even deeper. It's also this invisible manager, working behind the scenes, regulating tons of processes that you never even think about, but are absolutely essential for your health.
And just look at this list. The scope of its job is just incredible. We're talking about everything from helping your blood clot when you get a cut, to firing up enzymes so you can digest your food, all the way to keeping your body's pH balance in check. It's an absolute master multitasker. And just think about how vital some of this is. Blood clotting? The source material we're looking at puts it so clearly. That whole complex chain reaction that stops a simple paper cut from becoming a serious problem, it is completely dependent on calcium. Without it, you just keep bleeding.
And it doesn't stop there. It acts as a messenger inside your cells, telling them when it's time to turn on key enzymes or release critical hormones, like insulin. It's like the foreman on the massive job site that is your body, walking around and telling everyone when to get to work.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got two big jobs for calcium. The 99% is the structural warehouse, and the 1% is the active manager. And this right here, this is where your body sometimes has to make a really tough choice, especially when things are running low.
We've all heard of osteoporosis, right? The condition where bones get weak and brittle. But have you ever wondered why that actually happens? The answer is all about your body's list of priorities and what's at the very top of that list. This slide really says it all. Your body looks at that 99% in your bones as a long-term project. It's important for sure, but that 1%, the active stuff, that's about surviving the next 5 seconds. So if there isn't enough calcium in your blood to do all those critical jobs, your body has a backup plan, and it means sacrificing that long-term project.
I want you to really let that sink in. Your body will actively pull calcium out of your bones, literally dissolving your own skeleton over time, just to make sure there's enough of that vital 1% to keep your heart beating and your nerves firing. It will always choose today's survival over tomorrow's strength, no question. So when you put it all together, what's the big takeaway here? Well, it's the calcium is so much more than just a building block for your bones. And this table just lays it all out nice and clear. From your skeleton to your cells, from your muscles to your nervous system, calcium is a major player in pretty much every system in your body. It's both the physical foundation and the spark that makes everything run.
And that really brings us to the final question. For you, now that you know its secrets, now that you know about this delicate balance, that your body will actually rob your bones to fund its daily operations, it kind of makes you think differently, doesn't it? It's not just about building strong bones for down the road. It's about making sure you have enough calcium in your system today so your body never has to make that impossible choice.